Dear friends, one. Tablet each time, otherwise it's painful to run all the time.
I think it's okay.
1, 2. Okay, I don't have the...
Let's keep both boxes up even if they're not using it.
Are you sure?
Last time.
Just for right now?
No, for all the time. So then...
But it's not on or off because we don't have the tablet. Yes, now it's on. Down is on. Now it's on.
On off.
Check.
san jin chu doin so jin chu non lai chang chun par do da ne ja sun je da ge jin so yin jin be su non jin do lai ben se san jin do bar shu san jin chu do so jin chu non lai chang chun par do da ne ja sun da ge jin so yin jin be su non jin do lai ben se san jin do bar shu san jin chu do so jin chu non lai chang chun par do da ne ja sun che da ge jin so yin jin be su non jin do lai ben se san jin do bar shu sim jin dong jin de wa dong de we ju do den bar ju dong dong ai je ju do tra bar ju je dong ai me be de wa thom ba thom men ra wa ju je ni ren ju do ni do tra ve to nyan chen bo la ne bar ju je cha za wa do ju je sha ba do je so ye ran ko ye so ge wa chung se da ge je sa ba tham je zo be shan je chen bo sa je be je chu je me do tra re ra len je ni de nyen ba san je shen do me de bo wa ye do ge nan da shen la che ba shu sim je nam je sam ba do lo ye che da che tar wa che chung tu mo te ba ye che je go lo ko do so du sam song je dam je je ngo re dong chang ge jam zui chap da ga den sun da man ji ba zhen ji bam ga la me xie je do ro zhe ma me ba la go song ge ba chen be sa za ye jiao sun je wo xie wa ne ce ra tom je don zhe wa me ba ji su zang da su sem je tom je lo chu zong zhe wa sun je lab do so che lam don zhe wa sun je lab do so long zhe wa sa wa sun je lab do so zhe wa yi xie sun je wa sun je lab do so to gui da ji zhe wa sun je lab do so tu ji yan ji men ba sun je lab do so Tem zhi tab lang ke para san je lab do so, zhi se tang dong tem para san je lab do so, nam da kong a se ji sa ye ting zi pa me ra lang ka bin zi. Hirab nye din hong win chu ku sa, tom cho tang kin ra lang ku san sa, hi zin ka lan chen rab chen kor ji, ze pe tong da se lang la hu. Yarab dem ba ku ne san ze pe, ka ju ram bo chi lang ku san sa, do jin chong che te lo na ro to, ma pa ma la chu ji gong bo pa. Tu sum chen ban dam gan ya se so, ka ju la ma no lang ku san sa, pa de do jin chong ri ku chap da la ma kar ma pa, chen ku kun jin chong ne se jir pan je ya da na jir ma. Chule kun je se bo, un ji chu jo pe je chan zhe la, na jir ze je ku bin de tong ra me tu ji chong wan ze, ri kan sa wen men zhe de zi su, rim yi lang ji lo ra chama jong. Je ji ku yin zhe wen men ze bar yong zi lam ma ju pa je la, do, o mi chu jin je po dong la, ti sa song je kun je ngo wan. Rang sen chu ku ngan san dan ze be, za wa la men xia lang ku san sa, na ma ya tong pa la ye ke do lo do ne zi ke, cha wam da do mi ke nan. Ro wa kun je da ke je za ba, tom je ken de chun de de bar xiu, su sam de nga jin da che jin chi, nya su me bang xie war ji la su. Sim jin tuan do nyu do da zhen na, tom ba nan jin nen do za do so. Good morning. So first of all, the most important part is to remind ourselves to generate great motivation, which is generating the bodhicitta. Basically, meaning I'm here to listen to the precious teaching of the Buddha, to contemplate and to meditate on it, to become enlightenment for benefit of all sentient beings.
This is very important. And with this in your mind, do a short meditation. Okay. Tene 가정 시반당시 말랑서 담배추 삼원된다올라 tene 투바당 삼바당 검바세그라타 손도 디바이나 냐음레 조지 고갑여진데 오늘 장내 기가와 망보라 초사 tene 디바정 세그라 Malang tak no tenda zo yawi ke devuji res te yindu so la tene jisu yerang segra o tenda zo ne gawa gam gojte peke chimbo res.
First of all, as we told before or yesterday, that having here or having been able to hear this profound dharma, which is amazingly powerful and deep, is itself is our great privilege, and it has been here because of our eons and eons of our accumulations of merit. That's why we have to understand it, we have to feel it, and we have to appreciate it, and we have to also rejoice it. So that's very important.
So la chik ngo shibetone dendao kawa zombo tubjiyoba tobyoba ten sosin kokap denda zombo lenjiyoba ti ngo shenje teyon peke chenbo resi ti ngo shiba ina tene sosi ngasu chu no ne songyaba nang yipe nang kazong shuba nang yiki sosi mesi ti rintang ji len gare sing xiora ningbu ji len ti len ya le pe kanse gro soso lo popa dong rintang no to so shen do pe pengres.
So it is very important to understand or know that what kind of quality that we have obtained. And it is very much important because it shows that, as we just discussed yesterday, that we have to take the essence of our human life, our precious human life. So when we understand what we have achieved, that will definitely help us to have a greater confidence in ourselves.
Tepe 좀 버렸다. 자두 되네 랑니 간도 임바 까와 좀보 찐 임바 까와 좀보도 덴바 찐치 임바 하고 차두 되네 닝보랭 고 담베 추일 간세 물루티 닝보 찌레네 물루rum보 치에데 렌탕 여바지 조 그래세드 간세나 되네 담베 추일라 nangba chuk to ne som to shetang ade mel nimbo ne sede tambe chula tu ba samba gamba zojite tam mel nimbo lentang yashute te teresta.
So when we understand that we are so fortunate to be here, and after that we want to get the essence of this precious human life, then what we have to do is practice dharma. And to practice dharma of the Buddha, we have to listen, contemplate, and meditate on it. And that's very important.
Tene chul tu sam zodi yang tene ta tambe chu mangbo hyuje sang yera sangje jamden de penna chuje pombo jenre je tong sang yere ndo yere nga yere ta te susu le malam na tune tene soso chu kaka la tendo gore penna Tibachin bichu, ti nang ne, Sangha Kachu Rawachi in Bayina Yangaso Pen Pearl, Trunta Chimbo, Ye, Seata Yondala and Chongera, so le Molamkin Dendro and Dravati, Koronchiva Humar. Tang around some Dravayana, Caps Babala, Tinin the Mount Chevati, then the young Kamapa Shamana Sindamandon Donna, Kajuk Chugo Shujandayon, then Pe Sonam Chambo, Jimson Kana Sena, Kajuk Chu in the Nazo. Drupa Drangan Kajupa said, Drupa Yamlink, Tony, Corolalint, and Dronki, Chuju Chadiori. They must on some. Take Tanda Katan to Gorsina. Missy Tung Chick Nang La Yang, Chu Chatsam the Yamnes of Toba Jake down. Tap David Tony. Then Missy Jake Nang, C.J. Luchil, Sang J. Tobaki, Tap Chatsam the Yodewa. Penna. Jepsi Malaria Banang, PRS, or Tinda or Chilang also showed you Basonsa, then Pekavas on Press.
And talking about the teaching of Buddha, he has taught us 84,000 verses of the Dharma or the teachings. And there are sutras, there are tantras. And if you talk about the Tibet, and in Tibet, basically there are lots of tradition in the tantric way. And if we have to talk about the present scenario, or right now, we are in the Kogyu sect, and we're being able to practice in this Kogyu sect itself is very precious because we have a great masters, and at the same time, this teaching has the power to enlighten us within this life itself. So it is very precious teaching that we are being able to achieve or being able to receive. That's why we have to appreciate it.
Te ta tambe chula, Tupaton, Sombaton, Gombaton, Tendusin Yomni Cheba Yena, then Tayon Yon the Lab de Vandong Yerete, Contar Nayon, then also the Mountamjeto, Dar, Devan Tatopati, Toptogres.
That's why, even it is being repeatedly said, we have to listen, contemplate, and practice. If we do this over and over again, it will definitely help us to be free from all these sufferings.
Yeah, Tenet, Takaps Papalang as a Omanjo Washi Yimbarero. The Omanjuka Kinang, Tangaso Tombo, Jusam de Tola, and Rodegir. Jusam Gone, Kazan Condela, Ninji Sando, Nisumelo, Sonjos, and Jasen, Jusumbanang Yiki, Ninji Sandi, Shutsar. The Sonjok Sam Tia, Tombo, and Rawachi Shutsar. That rang also Nisme Loti Cola.
And at this time, we are talking about the middle way, and talking about the middle way, that there are three causes of the bodhisattva, which is first of all, that is compassionate mind, second is the non-dualistic mind, and the third is the bodhicitta. And we have already discussed the first and the third. Now we are in the non-dualistic mind.
도도 손도 dun시바이나 추탐제게 ngubon zimba mai los here the dodo shena chutamjeke nelo shi patres tilot.
And when we talk about the non-dualistic mind itself, it is none other than understanding the essence of existence and the non-existence.
Ta thi lo tin chutamjeke nelo to lo ti nyam sa leng gona tane pen gomro japte nyam len che ti ha ko gona tane tombo trading ma sa na ya po chi zo shi thop go gra ma to khathong ro ne ni sme lo nyam len zo ya le se na le lo yo ma res tin di trading se na ma zine ti ko la tane lob jong che thwe ba zo samba che ne tane ni sme lo ti jul che gres.
And when we say we are going to practice about the existence, understanding of existence and non-existence, it does not come easily. Or if you say, I'm going to practice it or I'm going to meditate on it, it's not going to happen that easy. So we have to prepare for it.
Tene ta nisme be lo herap te tendang ngomate dame to bo lo de ba song sam tene dame be tan la nga so lob jong so go gres.
And when we say that understanding the non-dualistic mind, then it is basically mean understanding the selflessness. And we are going to practice the selflessness, or we are going to understand the selflessness.
Chensam tene dame ko la lob jong so gres.
That's why we have to learn about the selflessness.
다음에 부터라 투바도 썸바 즈바 이나 감바 제바 이나 타도도 다음에 또 내더니 등한 탐지에도 자원이 대화 톱지여도 파야도 내 급장은 다음에 담점지 고아이나요 바차 정보자네 편야 상지 마셔봐 여성 요레스.
When we learn about the selflessness, it will, if we listen to it, contemplate on it, and practice it, it will definitely take away our suffering. That's going to be a result. But even if you think about the present or the just now or at this very moment, whenever you practice that selflessness, it will definitely have a lot of benefits.
바차 정보자네 배나 오마농 성요래 의독 인사요. 당반이 지단들라 태참 정기 지 문주르스 태참 정기 제와나 스바르보 세브런저세 바차 정보암 렘 말람 정보도 초사기 잡정세나 the support the merit accumulation rero 데 메바이나 동니 그때라 태참 정기 오 추톰지 동니 이나미나 다음에 바 이나미나 somniki 태참 정기 지 도구 말해서 까르바멘키키 계시티 제바이나 추톰지 동니 인사래다 남의 인사래다 썸썸 그 태참 정기 제바이나요 뒤남실은 코로반 타지스 코바니 탄로야 그 바차 정보 자자자 잔으로 성요레스.
So when we practice the selflessness, even now, it is going to have a real good imprint on us. And there is a saying by Gomboludu or Nagarjuna. He has stated like this: even the person to have a doubt of selflessness itself comes after accumulating so much of merit. Otherwise, there is no questions of asking like if there is a self or not. No doubt comes. But if you could generate even the doubt of selflessness, that can be a great imprint which will definitely lead us to understanding of the selflessness.
It is like this. Nagarjuna, he said, if you have doubt of selflessness or emptiness, meaning that, oh, maybe there's no self, or things may be emptiness, but you are not fully understanding or realizing the emptiness or selflessness, but just having the doubt, that kind of thoughts or action put the karmic imprints into your mind, that become cause for ending the samsara. Sooner or later, you already have the chance to be free from the samsara. So this kind of doubt only can have person with lots of merit accumulation support from the past life. If you have no merit accumulation from the past life, that kind of person cannot have even doubt on the emptiness. So therefore, having chance to study about emptiness and selflessness is, result of great merit accumulation from the past. Of course, actually we are studying, listening, no need to speak. Even just having the doubt of emptiness or selflessness is the result of great merit. So, Chenjang, Tine, Tan Dodoshina, Tombani Jitan, Tusam Zavayana, Penyan Sanji Machapa Yoris.
If we have to say, or conclude it, basically, when we contemplate, when we listen, or when we practice the selflessness, it has the immense merit, immense benefit.
Chenjang, Tene, Ta, Nismebe Losenanda, Tangbani Jitan Senanda, Damet over Sherab Senanda, Tenda, Hanam Chipares, Toso.
And whether we say non-dualistic mind, whether we say it's a selflessness or anything, it's the same meaning.
Chenjang, Te Tawikita, Damet over Losenanda, Sherab Senanda, Tenda, Jul Jiva Am, Topa Yena, Tene, Pen, Jachimbo Turkon Shibanang Gires, Te Topa Lion Tene, Kanse Groko, Tupa to Samba Mambo Zogramatoke, Le Logic Top to Mares.
That's why whether we call it a sherab or wisdom or understanding of selflessness, it is, even though it looks easy sometimes, but it is not something easy. Without listening, without practicing, it does not come easy.
Sherab mebayina sonam je chu tabji chayoro sonam je chu pene jimba tongwa lasoba ninji gomba lasoba pe mombo cheba ina yang kowali thatogo mares.
Even though you have lots of accumulation of merits from generosity and all, if you don't have the wisdom, you are not going to attain the full attainment.
Pena umanju pa korona la song yore kayang ko sangji kin do yino la song yobare pena papa de ba lasoba na ta danda de kare song yore se na me longwa mongbo che yoba yina longwa mongbo pe mongbo yoba yina make me chadu kaun run de bu ke yotana ti nom lep to ko mares ko le make yo mara de pere tombo pe tene me mongbo nang tanal make yo ke khere ma che yo na ani ko ki trine de bu yo lan ro to ko res de la ni dola te pere.
For example, in the Buddha's Sutra, there is told something like this. If there are lots of people who cannot see, or if there are so many people with the blind eyes, they won't be able to go to any other places. But if there is one person who can see the path, he can definitely guide him to the place where they want to go. Likewise,
ta jimba tongwa chotram soba zeba gomba lasoba ninji gomba lasoba tabji cha pe mangbo yoba yina yang melanga nang jires melanga pe mangbo yoba yina yang pen yo marista destination left to maris yina yang ti nong la migdin che yoba yindala dame to pe sherap chik yoba yina teni tabji cha chama ti sangje ji kampong tabje tawa tabje ke julan junro gres.
Just like that, even if we practice lots of generosity, patience, discipline, and also kindness and all, it alone cannot give you the direction or cannot liberate you. But if you have the understanding of selflessness or the wisdom of non-dualistic wisdom, then that can really help you to liberate.
The point ngomat karesena tabji chat to ki nelok ti to yo mares sherab yo ba yana nelok to onde zamba thamje pang tho gore san zamba pang thop som ba yana tena tharwa songji ji kompong tham ro ko yo res yang son ching de je tin zamba ti res nelo ma to pak kin zamba ti.
The point is, even though you practice all the methods alone cannot free you from the suffering. It needs the absolute wisdom which can see the selflessness or non-dualistic existence.
Yeah, the method such as compassion, loving kindness, and practice of generosity, morality, patience, effort, whatever, will not understand the true nature of the reality, which is emptiness. If you have wisdom, they only can understand the true nature of reality, which is non-existence of self and phenomena. So the problem here we are caught in samsara is due to our self-clinging idea of existence. So that kind of a chain of the idea of self-existence can cut by the wisdom. So that's the key point. Tianzang, the Shavala Kayang, Jonjono, Sherable Gol Caresson, Yalan, Dada Tomjin, Tobe Sherab the song Sonni, Jimbala Soba Ki, Yalang Apotera Tomje Yong, Damet over Sherab Julije, Chedola, then a song Javareson res.
Even by the Santideva in his book Madhyamakāvatāra, in the wisdom section, what he has said is all the paramitas or the 5 paramitas, they are told or they are there to support the wisdom or lead to the wisdom.
The Honata tendoyena herab jibo kan rigorevesina yang herab jibo ke on rigyo mare tapji chayong gogyores penna sa teji namkhalam phogogoyona ndaphu ni tom demba yena te kon namkhalam phone nampong chone kawan rogo nan rothogores hyokpa chekjibo kan phoyamewa naoyiki tene tapdo herab ninga gogores.
And now the question may come, if we don't need the other one, or then we say like, is wisdom alone or the understanding of selfness alone can liberate us? Then no, because suppose, for example, if you see the bird, bird cannot just fly with one feather. It needs the other one to support it.
In order to gain full enlightenment, you must have both. And then John Carrier said, "I pen top to travel here and Chingwan Yin and here up the travel Tabion Chingwan Yins. Here up the Denver Tabne, Tarwayins on the Canal Sena, here up Chipo, don't then tap Madena, Chingwares, Kodamro Tartogumares. Ona Kawa Damro or Sena, then she was so cheap and tiny into compound long progress, taps Chamera."
And if we just practice wisdom alone, then it cannot really liberate us to the fullest, because it is just like taking one side, or you become liberated, but to some extent, but you cannot liberate it fully. And that's the defect of having wisdom alone.
Then, young, here of the travel, Tapjibo Kayon. Tagyo mare herab do trawa tabyong chingwa to jiba yinla herab do dembe tab da tawa wo sang songje kan do no sombara te ndu tab jibo yina yong siba khoba ne ta to mares te ndu tinyam dola tane herab go yores.
And if we say that can method alone can liberate us from this world, then no again, because if you just have the method, then you cannot escape the cyclic existence. You will always have to be in there. That's why we need both wisdom and method to support us to be liberated or fully liberated.
Ona kando resena penna de pe yulan rogona make dong kang ba nyinga gogres penna do kan chu ji de no sangra sutra of remembering triple gems sekti no na Rigba down Gangba things, they love the Kanavasena. I hear up you make down Tabji Gongba in Yona, you don't progress.
For example, in one sutra it has said that if you want to go to the place, then either having eye itself cannot take you to the place. We need our feet to go with it. Just like that, we need wisdom to see it, and we need the practical or the leg, or we need all the methods to really go there.
Chanson, the herb to make down Tabji Gongba Nibote, sound on Jubayena, then many Benyangal de Besonji compound la dirt to grace.
That's why we need the wisdom eyes and the method of leg, or the leg method, to be there or go somewhere or wherever you want to go.
Oh, Sonji can do in Nola, but Mumbo Song Yores, Kayin call Herb Jimade Don, Tabji Gombani Dembayena, Yontapo Zobo Sonji, Mene Benyangal Gampon Taparin Jula, Karanji Tarayin and Ne, Tene Yontapo Yangal and Deba Tapa Manjuro Song Sonji, Doju Mambo only, young the Song Yores.
And Buddha has stated in his many sutras that when we have the wisdom eyes and the method leg, then we can achieve or get to the liberation, or we can achieve anything. But without them, it is impossible to obtain any sort of enlightenment.
Then Sherab the young Lislauji Jegamaris, Julie, Lislauji Jetoyatanimaris.
And when we talk about the wisdom, it does not come so easy.
Bit Karija Yerasena, Penna, me, Shock Chambo, Jun Rainbow, Barthabeji Gona, then pushing your rushing, Then Shen Kambo, Mambo Gogres, Shen Kambo Meva Shen Yun Chiki, Kambo Yamai, but Yun Yimba Chiki, me Shok Chimbo, the Yurin Bombaro Young Mares.
For example, if you want to make a strong and lasting fire, then with very small amount of firewood cannot be that much strong, then cannot produce a strong fire, and it cannot last for longer period of time.
Pete Yendola, then Sunum Chungus Ayawaton. Then 2% Bagomba Sigra, Chunchong Zayan, Donna Sunum Chunchong Sayanki Jula, Sherab Chimbo Chitogomares.
And just like that, if we have just accumulated very few amount of merits, then we cannot really obtain that grand wisdom.
Tiendu Sonam Jatsotian Pe Mombo Sagoyati Tabchate, Sherab Jebala, Peke Chimbores.
That's why merit accumulation is very important to produce a greater wisdom.
Pen Telopak Sumbares. Tendon Lenchip Yishinte, Sosa Drabajang Lajeton, Tode la Mesalap Honale, Tabjichin, Toba, Meneno, Sundekasola, that's Haja Chembe, Tawasena, and Ra, Nazuki, Tomane, Lenchik to the Yobe, Sanje Kerangi, Jodever Hikwenimbo Sena, and Randona, Samjin Nelo, the main boy. Tito Gona, Tene, Le Lauji Togomares, or not over Takare or Sena.
For example, the Tilopa has stated that if you want to understand the existence or non-dualistic mind, or you can say Mahamudra, whatever you say, if you want to have that sort of realization, then it does not come that easier. So what we need to practice is
Telopa said to Naropa, said, the self-born rise, innate nature, which is Buddha nature, or nature of mind, sometimes we call it Mahamudra, or Dzogpa Chimbo, great completion, or Uma Chimbo, great middle way. So we have lots of names, but simply we can say nature of mind, which is Buddha nature. If you really wish to realize, understand it, it's not easy, but there is only two ways. The first one,
there are only two ways to obtain that, and the first one is to accumulate merits, and we have to accumulate so much of merits.
Nimbate Karesena, then Lama Topa Chudu Demba, Nana Topa Chimboresaniki, Chelap, Motoletene, then Saja Chimbitan Totogres.
And the second one is we have to receive, or we have to practice with the Lama or the master, with his blessing and with his teachings.
Yeah. So with the support from the merit accumulation from the past life, first. Secondly, you should receive the blessings and instructions of the great master who has realized Mahamudra. So with these two support or conditions, then you will realize your nature of mind, which is Mahamudra. Other than that, very not easy. So that means that Sanamji Tsosati, Ndonga Kadukapsu Yunayong, Yon Tapanelo Topersebala, message Kachembores.
So accumulation of merit is always important, whether you are practicing sutras or tantras. In every practices, the merit accumulation plays the huge role.
Tap Chala Kachembo Yambashi on the Sherab Kachang down on the Yoga. Sherab Kachembo she on the Tap Cha Pang Yayando, to Lutz and some of Toyamare. Ninga Kachembo race, chick managing young Yamari.
So when we talk about the methods or accumulation of merits, sometimes we may ignore the wisdom side. And whenever we talk about the wisdom accumulation, and at that time maybe we may ignore or neglect the method, practice of methods. So what we have to understand is both are equally important, the method and the wisdom.
Very often we come across with teachings and teachers with emphasizing focuses on sometimes wisdom, no, sometimes method part like compassion, generosity, all of this are too much. Extremely, they talk a lot. And that doesn't mean that wisdom is not important. Of course, it is important. Both, for example, if you want to get the heat from the fire, right? And in the cold winter weather, like if you want to get the heat from the fire, in order to get the fire, the wood or firewood is very important. Without that, you cannot get a fire. Without fire, you cannot get the warmth or heatness from the fire. So wood is important as fire because without that, you cannot get. But that doesn't mean that you are directly benefiting in receiving the warmth or heatness from the wood itself. No. Likewise, when we talk about the importance of the compassion, tolerance, whatever the method side, is important in order for us to get the fire of wisdom which can consume, burn all the firewood of the conceptual thoughts and ego clingings, cause for samsaric things. So therefore, both are very important. And we should not neglect, one or another. Chanson, Kachimboris, that data we share up till and Namju, Tadangatsu, then Jictil and be share up, Dametopolo, she deleted the Chitong, she on the share up lot, and injecting be share up to Jictil and Debe share up, see, here, yours.
So right now we are talking about especially the wisdom that is beyond the world, but in general, if we talk about the wisdom, there we can divide into two. One is the worldly wisdom and another is beyond the worldly wisdom.
Then Tanjiti be share up ki young ping at Jaja Togo yours, Ra, Penanjiti be share up la. Then Darikpa, so Arikpa, say and out on Tenen, non Daripangasun Mada, Darikpa, so Arikpa, Tenen, 10 Serikpa, say and Mambo yours stand Jiti share up Tusuki, paint Togo yours, the Mugoya Marin, Ekabla, Goyares.
So when we talk about the worldly wisdom, it has its own very important role because in this world we have lots of wisdom, or we can get expert in language, sometimes we can get expert in science, math, whatever. Those things, all of them has benefits on itself. So that is important for this life right now.
Chansam pen direct par senamendo pen jikti sherap pen te usum to mai tadanga so king danda yodio tene ma tu tiala so bando so pen togun do te to te la so banta jikti kin sowa chi chego de mesi na la shawale ka kari drogo na jikti be sherap la lobjong che ne tene rebutan ji pe rale ga yores te jikti be sherap ke yong pen togo yores.
For example, even just talking about this language right now, we are being able to have a communication and we are being able to take notes and everything. That itself has a great benefit. We can see that. So we have to understand whatever worldly wisdom that we have has really helped us to have a good life.
Hinayong tan jite be sherap te ke jite ndi metse ndi nong ta phen thoya cham chire ma to ki tele gene tene even
though our worldly wisdom has helped us to have a better life or greater life for this time, but it cannot really make us liberated from this time on. So we have to practice the wisdom which is beyond the worldly wisdom.
Ta tenga so things jikte pe ke ta lob dra to so khare na ne rag mare khawan rag se na subject je yoro nga so lob jong che ko ya de ten naung ba chu de tam ba chu nyam ne che de le thu ba sam ba zo ba yena ten jikte len de be shara rag res.
So if one asks how we can get the wisdom beyond this world, then first of all, we have to listen to the teaching of the Buddha or the Dharma itself. So when we start to listen to it, when we start to contemplate on it, when we start to meditate on it, it will definitely help us to have this wisdom.
Enayang tenen tambe chula to some zova ye nayang jitil and deb sheratel renyores.
Even though we listen to the Dharma, there is true wisdom within that beyond the worldly wisdom.
Tati indu jitil and deb membe sherama chungutine, then tikba membe chula to pato samba cheti nyamlin chepeke drivures.
There is a inferior wisdom which is accumulated by practicing the inferior methods.
And jitil and deb sherab chimbote, the tikba chimbichu nyamlin chevalatine chungachires.
And when we talk about the superior wisdom which is beyond this world is when we practice the great vehicle or the Mahayana.
Te masonsam tine pechayawan tita sherab tilayang tanjik tilinde beki sherab tinone ben tikpa chimbu ta jatan tikpa chechang karena yo chu nyomlen che tinong labar da tikpa chimbu chu nyomlen che di sherab te tupe sherab sambe sherab gambe sherab samyores.
And when we practice the wisdom, whether it's inferior wisdom beyond this world or the superior one, then when we particularly practice the superior one, when we listen to it, when we contemplate on it, when we understand it or meditate on it, it will definitely have a greater benefits.
Tupe sherab la tene nga so tene longrai tupe machine tileto somba nang yike tupa zoba yena sherab karjere sena tenga ta chugnelo laso bandaso mashi bati hiper zone res.
So when we categorize this wisdom, then there is the first one is listening wisdom. When we listen to the wisdom, it will
Listen
really
to the teachings.
Teachings or the wisdom itself. It will clarify our doubts from before. What we didn't know, we start to know. So that's the thing.
Tupi sherab yopa yena tambo mashi pat segres doubt mare mashi pat higa zogres.
So when we listen, it will make us see or realize what we didn't realize before.
Ti thola samba chewa yena samba sherab cheundu tene techam sendogres. Tambo te he ba te yang ta chimbo mashi ba techam yema ti sendogres.
Then when we contemplate on the wisdom, it will clarify our doubts.
Tene ti thola ti thusam thupa to samba zo yawi ki devu ti thola gam jaba yena tene kanse gro ko thupa to samba che thupa yapo che thila yang ta do likpar ma to pa thesang ne to hak ko thupar che ne samba che ba yena tene tawa yang ta ba jule cheres tawa yang ta te ke chi mo tawa yang ta ba jule che ba yena tawa ti thola gam jaba yena tene gam be sherab devu thugres.
So when we start to listen to the wisdom in a real great way, then it will give us the clear ideas. And when we contemplate on our clear ideas, that will give us the clear understanding. And when we have that clear understanding, we can meditate on the wisdom.
It is like this. The first, we will get the three wisdoms from listening, contemplation, and meditation. The benefit of first one, the listening, then we will know something new. Okay, that's the first result of the listen. Second one, although we knew something new, but we are not too sure, we might have some doubt about it, then we will do contemplation on it. We contemplate on it again and again. If we don't know really fully, or we have doubt, then we can ask again to the masters, right? So we will contemplate on it. Then we can purify eliminate all doubts. Then we will get the, for sure, right view. That is called right view. Okay, understanding the right view. But that right view is not experiential realization level, but only intellectual level. So we have found the right view to do meditation. So when we do meditation, it's important to have the right view. So then the result of listen and contemplation, we have right view, then we do meditation right view. Then after the result of good meditation, then we will realize the nature of truth, right? Nature of phenomenon of mind or whatever we named. So that is the result of meditation. And the result of meditation, which we can get out of samsara and realize true nature. So therefore, it is important to listen to Dharma, to get the wisdom of not knowing new things, something that we don't know before. And then it is important to have contemplation, to purify all doubt, to make sure to find out the right view. And then after that, it is crucial, very important to have meditation on that. Only we will get the actual result of the spiritual practice is there through meditation. So that is some gone some herap some body julichina, then nelotores. That in the cups papa trengasola, cargo yoresena. That also chiton chishi keta sherap cheson road, chitong rokechares, so julichiela. Tane, that trengaso goya thing on the carresena. They say, Jitil in there be sherap non in news maybe lote indu. Then I to chutam jake, nail out the chud. Do Javayena, Dameni Constant Dugres, Tico Tessins.
So we have been discussing about it in a general way, and if we have to talk today especially, and we are talking about the non-dualistic mind, or when we talk about the non-dualistic mind, we are mentioning about the wisdom that is beyond this world. So now we are going to we are going to deep inside it. And it is about the understanding of selflessness of two.
True selflessness of person and the phenomenon, all right? So first, that humble the Gonzaga Dame calling us a taste of Lobjons or Tabayana, Pependo Yores.
And first of all, we are going to talk about the selflessness of oneself.
Person, right? Taindu, Gonzaga Danzi, Pound the Zegazawa, Koranona, Dunhan Tamje, Nyanze, Gazawa, Tambo, the Kawan Gotos, Gonzaga Danzi, Teletani, Johnson by Embosson, Timmy watching at Hako Gores.
So when we talk about the selflessness of self, and when we see in general that whatever suffering that we are suffering right now is the result of being clinging to the self.
Tan Namjing as his hand on la, Namju, Suyin and Roa Semjin, Mutzan Mayin, but Sama, Sela, Nga, Seachi, Chembo Shuja Yores.
And not only human beings, but all living beings has the huge clinging or the attachment towards this idea of the self.
Yeah, not only human beings, but every single living being, each and everyone, they have a very strong idea of I. That's why whenever we write down the I is obviously capital, very big. That is expression of ego is so strong. I very big. That the I. Then I couldn't capital and all. Then Donara capital chadiores, Damachimboyores.
And there comes the idea of I, and I itself is capital. That's why we have a big suffering.
Suffering itself is capital. Right? Then that the Kavando Nasutago Gresi, that the idea of I, the Demba Rendosumero, Tindue Tayati, Pekechimores, Kansina, Hoyonat, Dangape Yong, Donaso, Dangan Doyomara, Mende, that I see it in Dueta Grace.
So now we are going to analyze or look for the I. How it is giving us so much of suffering, because if the suffering arises from the I, then maybe let's look for the I. Where is it?
That Ta gongza nga se chik laya chindoa. Ti main ta san rao ti nga su katse nyugpa yena yong. Te ta sa ti main ta sa ti la som yores ta.
Then when we say the person or when we mention the person, then
I.
the I is that if we have to say, then there is only three ways to really mention, you know.
Yeah, three things to point, right? To be pointed. Dambo te nga su lundres physical.
The first one is our body itself.
Yeah, we point to the physical form. When we say I, if I ask you, we ask someone to, where are you? I'm here, they will say, right? Te nimba de karesena sem deres.
And the second one is the mind.
Sumba de main deres.
And the third one is the name.
Name of the person. Ta ngone tangne ke ngarong so som no no la. Yoba nang yiki nga he sawa te zupu de re samba ina yembo mon do taung na. Tene ta tel ren do mon do te idea to te yore te tap ji abu tong go gres.
Then in reality, if we really have to check and if we think that the body is me, then we have to really look or analyze it.
Kasi body te zupu te physical form is nga ina. Tene kanse gro ko chungsa ni som no tong ba ina nga so language communication jero te la yong pe nam ji nga so tama de ba chag yores.
And if we say that body is us, then even in our way of using the language, we can see this, that it is not so.
Penas
For example,
nam ji nga chu ke ja she du khar she re se na ne zupo lagu yawas.
in general, for example, when we say this body, then we don't say, we say normally my body. We don't say I body.
Labdu kapsa nga se lepa no khare lep to khar ko len to gorsen. What we can understand from that is pena nga tong nge zupo ni khakhala ya ne zupo te long su chyo ju ki chalan ro chik tang long su chyo ba bo nga sewa chu sor to yo ji nga se lepa no lep to go was.
So when we use the term like my body, then we can clearly see or understand that we are not saying this as ourself, I. We are mentioning like our object. We are saying this as an object, and there is someone saying that it's my object.
Means the body, we will say, normal regular communication, we say my body. So body, in that sense, we can understand that body is a possession. And the possessor is the I. There must be someone belonger beside the belongings. The body is belongings. The belonger is somewhere else there who take care of our body. So we have to find out that belonger, someone who is taking care of the body, which is I. So look for that where it is. Ta zupu te nga so ta bo jang ki nga se sa wa chi yo sang wi yo ro ta ti nga de ka wan do ta nyok res nga so mar ma che tang se go res.
Okay, then when we understand that someone is saying that I, then there is a belonger and belonging. So we have to look for it. Who is belonger and who is belonging?
Now find out the I. Find out the I. So ta nyu de ka so la ta zupu no nyok tambo zupu ne nyok go res.
Then when we search for the I, then we have to search in our body.
Ngol ndo es ta.
Is the I is in the body, head?
Yamana head itself is I. Yamana ngod korang I ren do es.
Or is the head itself is I, or I itself is a head?
Yamana lakpa ren do es.
Or is it a hand?
Yamana lakpa non do es.
Or is it inside the hand that is I?
Yamana kang balan do es.
Or is it in the leg?
Tene pen kong ba ni or lakwa ni or kawando re ninga res kar resta.
And we have 2 legs and 2 hands. Is it 1 or is it 2?
Nga sewati ke kangla yakala pa chap de re so yang man re yores.
The idea of I, is it in the all parts of 4 hands and leg, or is it there single?
Kesi single yena then nga ye cha cha res ta kong ba lakwa chipul som tong ba yena.
If you just imagine in the case of hand and our leg, if it is single, then we have to have a 4 eye.
4 legs, 2 legs, 2 hands, 4. And including head, then 5 eyes should be there. Right? Then, kasi chap de yoresenas, right?
And if one says it's all over it, then
It pervaded it. Then, kangba menki meche yona, ku kanse na nga se chiyore titis kotsara kanse thoma chap de yore na ku danzi ma chungro chong nga cheka ma to me se ando chi yung goya re logically mendos.
and if we say I is all over our body, then if you lose your leg, then you don't say I lose my half eye.
You just say, I lost my leg. If this is to complete 1 eye, if it's pervades all your parts of hand, if you lose that, your ego should be minus. But ego is the same, even stronger. They will say, oh, what happened to me? I lost my leg. So, how to say, sad, and a big problem. Ego becoming bigger and bigger. Tene ta lu nang la yong mendo sil la yong mendo lu khoro yong dare mendo as does.
Then when we analyze, there is no eye in the inside of our body, there is no eye in the outside of our body. So, or are you finding any?
Yo mares mendo as te indu kesi zupo te da yimbo bong do tona tene nga so jewa ngma tong jewa jema se ta yong meba chan do gres.
And then if we say that this body is I, then there is no past life, there is no future life.
Kanse ne shitade zubo te yona chol ko yagres yona milita yagres yona rundo gre sa tong chetong mombuk san do gre ti indu te jewa jema yo mares.
Because when we die, whether some people might take it to the river, some might burn it, some might dig it into a hole. So
Corpse.
after that, maybe the insects will eat this. Then after that, there is no eye or there is no body.
There's no next life, because if your body is I, then when we die, our corpse will, put in fire and they burn, or maybe put in the water, eaten by fishes in the sea lives, or maybe take away as one. So therefore, if body is I, there's no future lives. Then we don't need to care anything. We can do whatever we like in this life. Yinayong, ta zubote da mares.
That's why the body itself is not I.
Ta zubote da mina, then semba de da revesina.
Then if one says, if our body is not I, then the mind is I.
Then ta tata kakta nga chu nge sem se nge zupo se achora chikpare se semba la yung rota nge semba se gare mato nga semba senki mendo pena.
And it is just as we said in the previous example, we say our body, just like that we say our mind. We don't say mind I.
I mind, we never
mind.
say, right? So, Tipares, it's the same logic that mind is a belonging and I is a belonger. Someone's take care of my mind, right? Ta semba korang yung tongbo nues jiktat ta.
First of all, let's analyze is there is any mind.
Mind itself, you check. If there is a mind, then what is the color of the mind? Blue, yellow, black, orange? And if there's the mind, what is the shape or design of the mind? Kogoreves.
Is it round, your mind?
Tribureves.
Is it square?
Square. Nanareves.
Is it lengthy or
Oh, bambundoes.
is it thick
Kambundoes.
or is it thin?
Thin, right? Kesi semba yona, ani yona zo stropaimba. Then yepton kado nana karundos.
If there is a mind, then is there any shape, size, or the
Color.
color of it?
Then yona kavandos ta lupu zupu kavandos.
If you say yes, there is mind, then which part of the body that you have the mind?
Chansam then kale kaures tambo semba koro ngayimba daimba da pa yugdo semba koro nyeli nyak pe kale kaw chachares.
If we analyze the understanding of that there is no mind, it's difficult. Where is mind is difficult. Before that, if we just try to see the physical form of mind, then there is no way that we can find it.
Yeah, in order for us to say mind is I, but first of all, we have to find the mind itself. But if we will look for eons into eons, we cannot find it because Buddha's said in Chachi Malano Yo, Yopa Maye Jave Chang Mazik si.
Even in the Mahamudra Sutra or Mahamudra prayer, it has mentioned that it is not there because even the Buddha has not seen it.
Mepa Mai Konde Kunji Jers
If we say it is not there, then it is the base of all samsara.
and Nirvana, right? Tanyinga Mai Nima is Kontarna Yong, Sam Koronia Tipekale Kochacha in Basungsam, Tene, Sam the Daris you're gonna Pekale Kochares.
Is it very difficult to find where the mind is? That's why it's difficult to understand or find or point out where the mind is.
Tenen Samsang Achu Segre, Zupul Kain, Chik Chavaina, Zupul Tan, Zogumare, and Chichin and Zupul Yoro, Zupul Nayan, said Na Song, Segre, take up the Semba Koronche Chayo Maresi, Inayon, Na Song Segres, take up Sembati, Na Maimpa indicate Zogresta.
So when we normally get sick, at that time we say, I am sick. So basically we indicate that the mind is not us.
Meaning, when we are sick by physically sick, have some problems with like legs, hands, usually we used to say, I'm sick, I have problem, right? But at that moment, our mind doesn't have anything, problem. So if we are wounded on the physical body, then we say, I'm sick, I have problem, I got operation, something like that. But that indicates that mind is not I. So we are thinking that body is something like I, right? So, zupo tong semba nike te dobdo shena, te ngare meba te ngasun dundu analytical meditation segre sherap bejo tong ba yena haku togres.
Then the body and mind are not I. We can understand it by the analytical meditation or when we...
Through this kind of investigation, we can find definitely for sure, logically, we will know that body and the mind are not I. Ta kari lasina, tas main di chibu lasons, nzukutsa.
Now the only one thing is...
Left is... yeah. Okay. Only one thing left to point out as the I is the name itself, right? Ta main di kasi ngayina, tene ngazu tombo ngama ma chiondu mayo mares.
Then now if we say the name is me or I, then when we just get born, at that time there is no name for us.
Then this jela yana abakta injera yana amaktagre yana lamaktagre. Me jema thupchi chala jeres.
And the name that we get is either we get it from our mother or our father, or sometimes we get it from our lamas. It is-
Masters.
yeah, our masters. It comes after we get born.
And moreover, many drajam jeres.
And the name itself is none other than just a sound.
Yeah. Tene me geothegores kaduina.
And name can be changed, and it changes sometimes.
Nga ngarang chibuena me themasam jetsares.
And talking about myself, I have changed my name 3 times.
And moreover, you have Facebook name, WeChat name, WhatsApp name. Which one is I then? They was some may pay momboyere. They may the ngamaresta.
We can have so many names that's why we cannot say name is I.
And then same logic that said my name. We never say I name. Right? Oh. Then ta main ngare mando. Zug ngare mando. Hipa ngare mando. Ta ti mai be ngaji kawandosta.
So basically now what we have understand is that body is not us, mind is not I, or the name itself is not I, then where is the I?
Where's the I? Tati karesena mepala yopan zimba lo katongi layamba marik pala tini wrong mystic idea yores marik pala tini ti karesena da mepala da dun zisya resta.
Then all this clinging or all this saying of I has arisen because of the ignorance or the mistaken view, as we just said before.
Yeah, due to our ignorance, the ignorance in Tibetan we call marikpa. Marikpa means not knowing or not seeing. What is the not knowing, not seeing, or not understanding? Is true nature of the reality. What is the true nature of reality? It's non-existence, emptiness, selflessness. But idea of I is just opposite of that. So that's why it is called wrong idea. That is the biggest mistake. As yesterday I mentioned, we have a big mistake from very starting, very beginning. That was that is the biggest cause for all the sufferings of samsara. This is due to ignorance. So what we have to do is just we try to understand that I doesn't exist. That we should listen to the Dharma, particularly like teaching like this. There's no I, selflessness, like Madhyamaka. Through logic, through reasons, right? We can get an idea of non-existence. But that idea is just within here, intellectual level. But what we should do is we should do meditation on that. Find out that I. For sure, confirm there's no I. And then we will get the really experience that based on realization or realization. That only works. Then we will get first bhumi of the bodhisattva. And the moment we will get out of the samsara, the chain, we can cut the chain of the samsara. So we are just going out from samsara. Moment that we will realize there's no I, then we have no sufferings from the cyclic existence of samsara.
So now we are going to meditate on it for some while.
Tene tata nge ta tambo da sewa te zupu lendo we semba lendo we mang lendo we se anda o mambo chi shuimba ta tosul som tong ta nga se te kawando ngunen do we ndo na kawando.
So now we are going to reflect on or analyze that where is I? And as we just discussed before, is it in our body, is it in our mind, or is it in just the name? We are going to analyze it.
Now, please think, remind the I which we care too much for it from beginningless till now. Where does this is it? This is our body is I. If our body is the I, then which part of the body is I? So head is I. Two hands I. Two legs I. No. These are the belongings. They belongs to me or I. The physical bodies I just got from my parents. And it will dissolve in end of the life. But idea of ego or I goes continuously next life. And my mind is I or not? No. Mind itself is formless. It doesn't have any form, physical form, like form with color, shapes, designs. It doesn't have. Mind we cannot see by our eyes. Mind itself doesn't exist. And my name is I? No, it's just name. So where does I exist? What is the I itself? There is no such so-called I, doesn't exist. But just merely it is a wrong idea, which is cause of all problems. May each and everyone realize the selflessness or egoless state. Okay. Enough. Otherwise, we are going to be enlightened here. So many Buddhas, so many Buddhas here. Then. Okay. Yeah. Q&A until we hear the suit bell.
Thank you, Khenpo, for these great teachings. Actually, I have a question. I'm sorry if it might be a stupid question, but I don't manage to figure out what is meant by the miracle of Candrakīrti about when he managed to milk a cow, an image of a cow. Actually, you said that because he realized emptiness, he realized, therefore, that there was no difference between an actual cow, an organic cow, and an image of a cow. But, and on this basis, then he could milk a cow. But come on, there is a huge difference between an organic cow in terms of dependent origination. Okay, there is causes and conditions in organic cows which enables for it to give milk, which is not gathered in an image. So, to me, this example, it's like refuting causality, dependent origination. So it's like the view of Charvakas. Everything can happen from nothing, like mushrooms. This is the example that they gave. So please help me to understand this point.
Kote serta pena asunam ju chutam je ke tongba ni re se du kapsala ju me pa ji me pa le chama jang thog re se dan koya chan yo ma resti.
When we say in the essence of emptiness, or when we talk about emptiness, it shouldn't be understood in a way that there is no cause and effect.
Tonye yimbe ne chi chu thamje tonye yimbe ne chi ra temdres.
This is just for the understanding of emptiness being the essence or the dependent origination.
Chu thamje tonye yimbe ne chi temdres. Temdre yimbe ne chi kon la tongba ni ro de la thamje romwan jo somba na yik temdre yimbe ne chi tene jo dong jing pusum soba de yong chu go yores.
And as there is a dependent origination, there can appear so many things from it.
Penna acho kansikre jikte in detail da saje lesam khare yoba yena jo to ten la mate ba chan yong yo mars pe cha ja yena pe cha ja hena nga so mingo la ra chu mando was jem mando was.
And whatever we see in this world, they all have the cause and effect. And for example, if we say there is no horn in our head, because there is no cause for causing it to burn the horn in our head. And if there is a combination of cause, there will be a result. And when we say there is a cause and effect, but still there is no absolute reality on it. Because there is cause and effect, or cause and result, because of the emptiness itself.
Cause and effect, it works unmistakably because of emptiness. If things are not emptiness, it doesn't work. It's fixed already. It's programmed already. There is no such things. So the essence of every phenomena doesn't exist as what we think and what we see. What we think, I mean that we think everything is permanent, exist, but by nature it doesn't exist as what we think. Therefore, causes and conditions arise, and if there is causes and conditions, things can happen, right? So that is because of emptiness. The things that empty by nature. So, theta tanda chikres, tini tinda chik tanda te hako to sundu, tini tomba ni chitan ti senja malopa, padi dawata pe toba yemba sonsam, tini pa ngoy somtong pa remote tiba ni layang, chepario mares ta kung kongola.
Because he has understood the reality of existence, which is emptiness. That's why for him there is no difference between the real cow and the drawing of the cow.
Thank you very much for your teachings. Could you explain, please, if we are not exist, who has to be enlightenmented, who has to be liberated, and who has to accumulate merit?
Tambo ngaso chushe de kogoya de karesena kuzub demba seyache do damdan demba seyache yores ti peke chimbures ni hakogoya.
Whenever we talk about the existence or the reality, there is two aspects of it, which is first is the relative reality and the second is the ultimate reality.
Tene ne pechi jas penna chorang ni chi kho de yona malam ram rani de tong malam no kange mangbo chin the de yona.
For example, if you are sleeping and you are having a nightmare and you are really suffering in it,
pen malam ram ra yora ta chot kap te du nem ya ni se ya tang tene malam shenang chau do po te la tra ngong ra chi ya ni le se dangar te le tha le bechen pe zogres.
and at that time, if you are saying a bad dream, you feel it, you try your best to get over it.
Ni le se wa tha ki chek otop matop ta jres ta do na te na tha ni ina yong tang ngoma ni se den ki che ki te ba yena ta pe na ni se den ki che yin ba la pe cha ja che ke chorang situation che ro ma la thong de ba yena ten ngone che na te ma nyong de ya te then
even you are suffering out there, you try to get out or you try to get off from that dream. But if you are just in normal state, then if you see, you know that it's not the reality. The dream itself is not a reality. For example, if you were having a nightmare and you just get up from that dream, even you say, I had a bad dream, but you just say that was just a dream and it's not a real.
Karitin hamago sena ni tires ta marik pati ni dawra ni tilate ni tene cho marik kanse nyong de re mato ki tanda me bare ndo aso ya daw chi ha kogorela tanda me bares dan madro pares.
And while sleeping, all that you are suffering is because you think that is happening the real or the dream itself, or you are asleep. You are asleep. That's why you feel everything is happening for real and you try to get over it. But as soon as you get up from that dream, you already know it's not a non-existent. So the problem itself is the sleep.
Sleep is just like ignorance, not understanding the truth. Because of sleep, then you don't know this is dream or you are sleeping, and then you have you are thinking of idea of existence of the dream itself, then you feel it's real, it's true, coming towards me by elephant, tigers, or carnivores coming towards you. So at that moment, you try to use all means and method to wake up from that. But once you wake up, oh, ridiculous, why I had that? It's a dream. Needlessly, I suffer. Likewise, that's the example. As long as we are in samsara, we suffer all of these kind of things, circumstances we have to face. So we have to try to wake up from the state of the kind of like example sleep. So for that means we have to accumulate merit, we have to practice, we have to listen to Dharma to get out from the big sleep of samsara. Once you get out from there, actually all these methods are needless.
Tujiche.
Oh yeah, Tuji. Okay. Thank you. Now the Tarachun Chinese gave of one day in some bed. I guess I'm to do some dose of a gave us our changes about the Latam Jelly, Jedid, and Quadon, Bessan, Tom to the Lana Manchiba on the boat of a song, you come on boys. To pass a vegedo, no, I don't molum some more legedo, no worry, your son, the Tom Jezebani, Tony, Bedana. Chiga Nanche, Wallap, Trovaye, Zebe, Solen, Ronan, Drovarisho, Sancho, Semcho, Remboche, Mache, Banam, Chijero, Chiba, Nyoba, Mevada, Kone, Kondo, Pevarisho. Okay.
So, dear friends, one more announcement regarding the PCR test. If you need them to go to Kathmandu or Nepal, please go to the office downstairs or upstairs and leave your name so that Kibi will be able to provide and organize PCR test for you for tomorrow. And then tomorrow you will be able to make it in the morning, and you will receive the results in the afternoon, most probably, so that everything will be able to move smoothly. At the same time, a kind request from technical team, please don't charge your phones around here, where you can see we plugged in some speakers, lamps, etc., because the electricity and the plugs are not so in good condition, therefore we kindly ask you not to do it. Thank you.